We all kind of think our genes seal our fate, right? Well, what if I told you that's just not true? That maybe 80% of how long you live and how well you live has nothing to do with your genes at all. Today, we're going to cut through all the noise and build a really simple, science-backed blueprint for a long and, more importantly, a healthy life. Let's dive in. Okay, so think about this for a second. It's kind of weird, isn't it? We have more health information at our fingertips than at any point in history. Blogs, apps, you name it. And yet, as a society, we're more stressed out and sicker than ever. Why is that? What is going on? Well, this is what some people call the modern health paradox, and we are going to unpack it right now. Just look at this number, $300 billion. That's what stress-related illnesses cost the U.S. economy every single year. But this isn't just some big abstract number on a slide. It represents real people. It's millions of lives touched by burnout, by anxiety, by sickness. It's a deeply personal problem that's absolutely exploded into a massive societal crisis. Okay, now this is where things get really, really exciting. For so long, we've been told, oh, it's all in your genes. But this incredible research, the Danish twin study, just completely flipped that idea on its head. Turns out our genes, they only account for about 20% of how long we live. The other 80%, well, that's on us. It's our lifestyle, our environment, our choices. And honestly, that is such empowering news, isn't it? It means we're not just passengers here. We are actually in the driver's seat of our own health. So the big question is, how do we actually take control of that 80%? Well, we're going to build our blueprint around 4 simple pillars. We've got fuel, move, mind, and connect. Let's jump right in and break them down. All right, first up, pillar 1, fuel your foundation. And the big idea here is simple. It's about the quality of your food, not just the calories. It's about what your food is actually made of. Let me give you an analogy. Think of your body like a high-performance car. Whole foods, stuff that grows in the ground or comes from an animal, that's the premium fuel. It makes the engine run smoothly. But ultra-processed foods, that's like putting cheap, dirty gas in the tank. Sure, you might get a quick burst of energy, but over time, it just clogs everything up and causes all sorts of damage. And in our bodies, that damage is called chronic inflammation. So what does this actually look like on your plate? Well, the Harvard Healthy Eating Plate makes it super simple. No complicated math. Just fill half your plate with all kinds of colorful veggies and fruits. Then, a quarter of it gets whole grains. And the last quarter is for healthy protein. That's it. It's just a simple visual guide that can totally transform your health, meal by meal. Okay, and you're going to love this next one. It's a simple, totally free, and unbelievably powerful health hack. Just drink more water. I know. It sounds way too simple to be true, right? But a huge study from the NIH found that being well hydrated can literally slow down how fast you age and help prevent chronic diseases. I mean, come on, that is an absolute game changer. All right, let's keep things, moving. On to pillar 2, move with purpose. And listen, this is not just about crushing it at the gym. It's about a bigger idea. Our bodies are designed to be in motion, and that movement is basically medicine for everything. So you might be wondering, how much do I really need to do? The official guidelines give us a great target to shoot for, about 150 minutes of moderate activity, like a brisk walk, each week. Or, if you want to go harder, 75 minutes of vigorous activity. Plus, you got to throw in a couple of days of muscle strengthening stuff. Just think of that as the baseline, the foundation for a stronger, healthier you. But here's a really cool idea that goes beyond just exercise. Scientists studied these places called blue zones. These are spots where people live the longest, healthiest lives on Earth. And you know what they found? These people, they don't go to gyms, they don't run marathons. Instead, their entire life is just set up for natural movement. They're always walking, gardening, doing chores by hand. Their environment just kind of nudges them into moving all day long. Okay, quick but important distinction here. Flexibility versus mobility. They sound the same, but they're not. Flexibility is passive. It's like, can someone else lift your leg up high? Mobility is active. It's, can you lift your leg up high, using your own strength and control? See the difference? For staying healthy and functional for the long haul, mobility is absolutely king. Okay, this next pillar is one we so often forget about, but it's probably one of the most critical. Pillar 3, master your mind. This is all about our mental and emotional health, which, let's be real, is the foundation for everything else. So the key word here is resilience. And resilience isn't about being tough and never showing emotion. No. It's more like being bamboo, how it can bend in a huge storm, but it doesn't break? That's resilience. It's the ability to cope with life's ups and downs, to bounce back when you get knocked down, and just keep going. So, how do we build that inner strength? Well, it all comes down to how we cope with stress. Healthy coping, things like going for a walk, talking to a friend, that's like a toolkit that actually helps you. Unhealthy coping, though, things like avoidance or emotional eating, that's like trying to put out a fire with gasoline. It feels like a solution for a second, but it just ends up making the problem way, way worse. Okay, I want to teach you one of the fastest, most powerful, science-backed tools for killing stress in the moment. It's called the physiological sigh. You can do it right now with me. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and then at the top, sneak in another little sip of air. Then just let it all out with a long, slow exhale through your mouth. That simple action instantly tells your nervous system, hey, we're safe, time to calm down. It's amazing. But hey, mastering your mind isn't just about dealing with the bad stuff. It's also about actively building up the good stuff. In Okinawa, another blue zone, they have this beautiful concept called ikigai. It basically means your reason to wake up in the morning. And get this, research shows that just having a clear sense of purpose, an ikigai, can add up to 7 years to your life. That's not a small thing. It's huge. And that brings us to our final pillar. And honestly, this one might just be the most powerful of them all. Pillar 4, connect to thrive. Because the science is now crystal clear. Our relationships, our connections with other people, have a massive biological impact on our health. I really want you to hear this. This comes from the Harvard study of adult development. They've been following the same people for over 85 years. And after all that time, their single biggest finding, their number one takeaway was this: the quality of your relationships is the strongest predictor of your health and happiness as you get older. Not your cholesterol, not your bank account, your relationships. And the opposite of connection is just as powerful, but in a really terrifying way. Chronic loneliness, it's not just a sad feeling. It's a physical state that just destroys your body from the inside out. In fact, studies show the physical damage from being lonely is the same as smoking 15 cigarettes every single day. Let that sink in for a second. It's a genuine public health crisis. So, how do we do this? How do we build those life-saving connections? Well, we can look back to the Okinawans. They have a tradition called moais. Basically, they form these small groups of friends who are committed to each other for life. It's their tribe. They support each other emotionally, financially. They even keep each other on track with healthy habits. They literally build their own social safety net. Okay, so we've walked through the 4 pillars: fuel, move, mind, and connect. Now let's pull it all together into a simple blueprint you can actually use. And remember, the goal here is not perfection. It's about small, consistent choices that add up over time. Check out how simple this can be. For fuel, just add 1 more handful of veggies to your dinner tonight. For move, just go for 1 10-minute walk. That's it. For mind, the next time you feel that wave of stress, do that physiological sigh we talked about. And for connection, pick up the phone and call 1 person you care about. See, none of these are huge, scary changes, but when you do them consistently, man, the results are absolutely profound. And that brings us right back to where we started. Remember that 20%? Your genes are not your destiny. They're just the first chapter. You get to write the rest of the story. So the only question left is, how are you going to write yours?